Ryan Garcia says that he believes Gervonta Tank Davis thinks he can run through him, but that won't be the case. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We working. Make sure you guys head over to Patreon, sign up, link in the description. I will be shifting some of the content over to Patreon and also for the YouTube channel members. So, YouTube channel member, to join, hit the join button next to the subscribe button. Patreon link is in the affiliate section of the descriptions on all of my videos. Now, Ryan Garcia did an interview on Impact with Dan Rafael, and he said some things about Gervonta Tank Davis. No big surprise here. He's mentioned Gervonta frequently and says he wants to fight. I'm going to start off with Ryan Garcia's quotes and give some of my thoughts. Ryan Garcia says that he believes he can beat Gervonta Davis. This is what he says. I've got to be careful. I don't want to give out too many answers, Dan, but if I got to give one, I would definitely give this one. It's obvious that Tank is a short fighter. He's a shorter fighter, so it's obvious my distance will play a key. But also there's a hidden factor in this. What I know for a fact, what Gervonta is thinking in his mind, this boy is too small, I'm gonna walk right through him. And then that's the question, will he walk right through me? I know for a fact that he won't, but we have to wait and see. He has to come within reach. There's no doubt about it. He's shorter than me. He has to reach to hit me. Can you land that punch? I'm not a dumb fighter. I'm gonna see the punches coming. And he doesn't have no tricks. Gervonta ducks down and comes up every time and just lays in. He has good timing, I'll give him that, but I'm not gonna fall for the fake to the body and then coming up top. I'm just not. It's the only trick that Tank does. I'm not gonna fall for that, but we'll see. Maybe he has other little tricks up his sleeves, but I don't think so. End quote. And that's coming from Ryan Garcia. So he thinks basically Tank Davis is a one-trick pony. Now, I gotta say and admit, I totally disagree with Ryan Garcia's assessment. You know, I think it's one of the cases of easier said than done. I personally don't think or see Gervonta Tank Davis, and I've covered his fights live, several of them. You know, Baltimore fight, I was at that, you know, against Ricardo Nunes. I covered his fight against Cuellar for a title. I covered Mayweather-McGregor. I covered, you know, the Baltimore fight, his Atlanta fight most recently. So his last fight against Yuriorkis Gamboa. And the kid just seems to get better and better. His confidence is there. And it's not just my personal opinion of what I've seen in the ring, which obviously on my channel, I'm gonna factor that in. But the other things are situations that, you know, there's a lot of content that doesn't necessarily or I guess conversations and stuff that don't reach the cutting room floor on my channel. So, you know, conversations on the record, but also conversations off the record. And everybody I've talked to that knows Tank and have been there for a while, they all say the same thing about him. They say he's lethal with his hands, like in terms of power punching. He's ran guys out of the gym, broke people's noses, things like this. So we already knew that aspect of him. But one thing that I know for a fact, and this is from talking to, I'm not going to give all my sources, but even talking to Calvin Ford and his trainer, and other people that have worked with Tank since he was a pup, you know, when he was a kid, they've all said the same thing. They, you know, said stuff like I had to calm Tank down because he was running people out of the gym, and he also can box. Like, I have an interview, and I don't know if I ever released it. I know I released it to the channel members. So that's why you guys got to join the Patreon and also join and become a YouTube channel member, because I'm going to start running some of the content on those platforms. So some of you guys might not have seen it. But anyway, I'm talking to Mr. Ford, you know, trainer of Gervonta Davis. And he mentioned, I asked him specifically when I seen him in Atlanta, and I was asking him about his background. I said, I know he has a deeper resume as an amateur than people give him credit for. You know, people always talk about Gennady Golovkin having 300 plus fights. They always talk about, obviously, Lomachenko's resume and a ton of Cuban fighters like Guillermo Rigondeaux. But one thing that a lot of you guys don't know that might know of Gervonta Tank Davis is he has a pretty deep amateur background and a good record. And, you know, don't quote me on exactly, because it's been since December since I interviewed him. But basically he said 200 to 250 wins and like 9 losses as an amateur. So basically Tank has like 250 amateur fights. So he's very experienced. You know, Ryan Garcia has experience too as an amateur. Fought Devin Haney a gang of times, 5-6 times an amateur. So it's a real good fight. But the way Ryan Garcia is breaking it down, he's basically making it like Tank has one move that he does and that's it. You know, making him like he's a Ruslan Provodnikov type. But the reason I disagree with it, like I'm saying, is because that really goes against everything I know about Tank personally. And, you know, I know Tank. And then everything that anyone's ever told me who's been associated with Tank. And I'm not just talking about, like when I say stuff like this, I'm not talking about hearsay. I'm talking about people who actually from Baltimore or grew up with him and in the gym and sparred him. It just goes, what Ryan Garcia is saying, he's saying, I don't think he got any tricks up his sleeve. You know, he might, but I don't think so. So, yeah, I think Ryan Garcia would be in for a rude awakening if he is going in there thinking that, you know, he's just going to blow Tank Davis out of the water, and he thinks that Tank is stupid and just going to think he's going to walk through him. And that's the other thing. I don't really think Gervonta Davis feels that way. I don't think he would take it lightly, especially not Ryan Garcia, because Ryan Garcia, that would be probably the biggest hype match that Tank has had. You know, Gamboa, you know, it's been a couple years since people were talking about Gamboa like that. So Ryan Garcia, that would be a huge fight. I can't imagine Tank being foolish enough to miss weight or foolish enough to cut corners in a major fight like that. That would be like some Oscar De La Hoya, Fernando Vargas type of fight, you know, for the modern times. That'd be a great grudge match, and it's been building. So nobody's going to want to lose that fight. So I disagree with Ryan Garcia's assessment. I think he's going in there thinking that Tank thinks he's going to walk through him. Like he's making it sound like Tank is almost easy to beat, one-trick pony, going to underestimate him. And I don't see that. I think Ryan Garcia has showed improvement with Eddie Reynoso and being in the Canelo camp in his last couple of fights. But at the end of the day, Ryan Garcia, for me, I like Ryan Garcia a lot. I like what he's doing. I like the growth. I got to see him in there with the name, because the behind the scene, he's mentioned a lot of fight. He's talking about fighting Pacquiao and Lomachenko, and, you know, Tank thinks he's going to walk through him, but I can beat him. I'll knock Tank out, and, you know, I'll fight Devin Haney. He's saying this stuff, but for me, it's getting to the point where that sounds great. You know, I believe him. He wants these fights. De La Hoya and Golden Boy got to make something happen, because to me, it's getting to a point where the talk has to match. It has to match the action, you know? So if you're calling out all these fights and stuff like that, I don't even like even this video. I'm doing it because I can, and I'm doing it because I'm caught up with other news, and you know, I've been pumping out videos. So I'm not really behind, but I told you I'm gonna save a lot of videos like this for the back end, because there's no real legs behind it. You know, he can talk to Dan Rafael on Impact TV or whatever, but there's no real weight to a Gervonta Ryan Garcia fight. Beyond that, Ryan Garcia is, you know, he's in a position where no matter how much he wants to fight, I don't know that his promoters and his team are willing to move him like that. So it's instances like this that's kind of bad, because your team got to be on the same page at all times. Like, one thing that's admirable about Floyd Mayweather and his team is you seldom see the team go against the greater goals of Floyd Mayweather. Like, you never seen, rest in peace, Roger Mayweather or Floyd Sr. put out bits of information to and about Floyd Mayweather that didn't really coincide directly with what Floyd was saying. Like, you never heard Roger Mayweather say, we don't want the Pacquiao fight, my nephew's scared or something, and then Floyd saying the opposite. You don't really see that. So that's what I would like to see. I would like to see Ryan Garcia graduate from these confrontations online to really sitting down with his team and start getting some of the names that he's craving under the books. Like, I mean, the least you can do promotionally is Jorge Linares, guys like that. You see what I'm saying? Because if you're calling Tank and you figured him out and you figured out how he does this one move and you got all this knowledge, then I would definitely like to see you beat at least a Jorge Linares. That's just how I feel. I would like to see you beat someone of that caliber, because I think Tank is a menace. I think Tank is very good. It's not just what I think, he is. Look at his resume. Look at his multiple times that he's gotten belts already. His age, he just looks to be getting better. But I do think Ryan Garcia is almost underestimating Tank if he thinks Tank is a one-trick pony. That directly goes against every piece of information, and this has never been from Tank. Like, I've talked to Tank, but he's not telling me about his sparring sessions like that. It's all coming from people who were there in the gym, like people who grew up with Tank and they were nearby to see. And it's not like a bunch of yes men. You just have to understand the conversations that I've had. But I do think Tank has ability further and beyond what he showed as a boxer. As a boxer, you're only going to pull out what's necessary, especially guys like Mayweather. And Tank came up underneath Mayweather, and he's on the Mayweather Promotions imprint. So I feel like there's so many more layers to Gervonta Davis that people haven't even been privy to based on all that I've seen, because it hasn't been needed. Nobody's brought this extra gear out of Gervonta Tank Davis where he had to go to that place. Like we begin to see as Errol Spence stepped up in competition, I would say Kell Brook brought out another gear. His fight with Mikey Garcia, I wouldn't say it brought out another gear, but it did, in the sense of, not that the fight looked hard, it just did because Errol Spence showed more of his boxing versus more of his walk you down and break you down stuff. You know what I'm saying? But the Sean Porter fight definitely showed another gear in different facets of Errol Spence's game. I really learned what I already knew, but sometimes what you know versus seeing what you know in live in the flesh, these could be two different things. I knew Errol Spence was a dog, but that Sean Porter fight showed me for real he was a dog. You see what I'm saying? So, as far as Gervonta Tank Davis, I think he's well on his way. And I think just in terms of his ability to box, I think there's elements where he hasn't had to show all of his boxing prowess. It's just going to take the right fighter to try to bring that out. He hasn't been like in a crazy deficit where he's coming from behind and he needs to only box because someone's walking him down and stuff like that. So far, his aggression, his southpaw stance, his explosive power, his speed and stuff like that is, and his ability to box, it's just getting it done. So it looks like he gets it done in one way. But I disagree with Ryan Garcia. I just don't think that Tank Davis is a one-trick pony. No how, no way. And Oscar De La Hoya is on record doing an interview with ES News, and he literally said, they said, hey, is Tank ready, or is Ryan Garcia ready for Tank? And De La Hoya says, no, Tank's a beast. That's his words. So, like I said, I just want to see Ryan Garcia progress and continue doing what he's doing. This is no hate. I just want to see him continue to win. And it's a great fight. It's a great conversation. You can see people saying they want it now. And I just feel no matter how much Ryan Garcia wants it, you got to make your team want it. Your team got to want it as bad as you want it. And he has to communicate that to his team, like, yo, I'm tired of fighting these other guys like the Fonsecas. You can't fight Tank's leftovers and then say all this stuff about Tank. Like, I'll beat him, I'll whoop him, because you fought someone that Tank beat on the Mayweather-McGregor card 3 years ago. Mayweather might rematch McGregor. That's how much time has elapsed. So it's just to that point now where I got to see the talk from Ryan Garcia and his opinion just manifest and show me. That's it. Show me. Let's see it, like I always say. Also, hit the ESPN Plus link in the description if you're interested in signing up. ESPN Plus, home of a lot of original content, exclusives, BTS, and they have classic fights like Mayweather versus Pacquiao, etc. So that's a great option if you guys are quarantined at home or just need some content. Try ESPN Plus. Use my link in the description. Click on that. It does help the channel. You can get ESPN Plus as a standalone app, or you can combine it. ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus. All three apps, one price, $12.99 a month. Let me know what you guys think of this video. Ryan Garcia, basically calling Tank Davis a one-trick pony. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Is Ryan ready for Gervonta Tank Davis, or is it kind of just talk and, fighter talk? Let me know all those things in the comment section. YouTube has switched things around, so the comments look a little bit different. You got to click on the top comment to expand the comment thread, and I hope they change it because it looks bogus, but that's what you have to do. Drop me a comment, let me know what you guys think, and let me know if Ryan Garcia is ready for Gervonta Davis. If you think Ryan Garcia would beat Gervonta Davis, drop that in the comment section. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego, signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.